Welcome to AImpact, your weekly deep dive into the good, the bad, and the ugly of artificial intelligence. Leading the discussions are Haley Wilson and Patty Kettle. Haley is the fairy godmother of AI. Alongside her, Patty pulls from more than 20 years of experience and a knack for guiding businesses and individuals from AI curiosity to AI confidence.
This is Haley Wilson.
And I'm Patty Kettle. And we're here today to talk to you guys about AI and the job search and what's up with all those ATS systems and how we can actually have a more effective job search in the age of AI.
We have a really great lineup today. We've got Michael Guan, who is the founder and CEO of FinalRoundAI.com. And we also have executive coach and author Susan Barens, who has more than 20 years of experience battling with the job search. So we're really excited about some of the great stuff we have today. And let's dig right in. Why don't you think, Patty?
Yep, let's go.
Well, today, Patty and I have a fantastic guest. She is a long-term friend of mine. We have Susan Barens. She is a learning and development executive. She is a career strategist. She's also author of Leveraging LinkedIn for Job Search Success. She's also been contributor to several publications in terms of job searching, resumes. She's appeared in newspapers all over the country. I am incredibly honored not only to have you on our podcast today, but also as a very, very dear friend and big sister of mine. And really is just excited to talk to you a little bit about just the state of the job search today. So thank you so much for being here, Susan.
Oh, I'm so excited to be with both you and Patty. So thanks for having me here. And it's true, you're like a sister to me. And it's just been a long journey and a long friendship, and every day has been enriched. So I appreciate that. And now we have Patty in the wing.
Exactly. And it's so great. And we've talked about this on this episode, but Patty is kind of going through job searching, and she has this incredible resume that's a little unconventional. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that, and I'm sure Patty will have some questions about some of the things that she's been experiencing.
You have to be targeted. You have to be focused. Know what you want. You have to have a headline that really describes what you're targeting in terms of the job. The other piece of the puzzle that you really need to understand with the job search is you really need to understand what your value is. People may choose a specific career. They may choose to transition their career into something different, and they have absolutely no idea what their value is. Applicant tracking systems are nothing but software, okay? It's a software program that manages the hiring process. When your resume is uploaded into an online profile, so let's just say ABC company, you see this great job for an HR director, you want to go ahead and submit your resume. When you submit that resume, you log in, create a profile, everybody knows the drill. What happens is the resume, when you upload it, it doesn't really scan it. It parses it. You are an algorithm. You are a number. Now, recruiters, and depending on the company, recruiters can set those settings in the background to what they want. The people who are searching today have to really understand what are keywords and how do I find them? How do I pass through these applicant tracking systems? That's critical. Yes, you need to do your homework. If you see something that is on, let's just say Indeed or even their website, and let's just say it's for a corporate communications manager and it's thrown up there and you're applying for it, it's removed for a while, and then 2 months you see it up there again, and then it's removed for a while, and then you see it again.
Any good advice for people wanting to use AI?
Well, I just gave you an example of AI, which is like Job Scan, Skill Syncer. Those are the most predominant ones that are being used when it comes to writing your resume and cover letter and then processing that through an application. But there are those that you will see that pop up on LinkedIn. Like, people gotta really look, because it always looks great on their little short videos, right? You take that resume and you strip it down to what we call an e-resume. All right. Everybody should have an e-resume that goes with it. It's ugly. I mean, it looks like something that creeped out of the 70s and 80s, you know, the old Ucky font, there's no bold, no underliner. Well, that's the beauty of it, because you can upload it to an applicant tracking system in the beginning when you fill out your profile and they say, hey, would you like to populate these areas? Again, that's AI. How would you like to populate these areas? Upload your Word document now. Well, you know, unless you're using like Workday, which is a popular applicant tracking system that some companies use, you can just pop that thing in there and it's great. But a lot of these others aren't like that. And so you need your e-resume and it will seamlessly populate. Anybody who needs to know how to do this, maybe a guide or how to write the resume, or even how to write an e-resume, if you just go onto my website at careermatrixgroup.com and you sign up for the newsletter, you'll get a free resume guidebook that teaches you how to do all this on your own. AI is great to help you formulate things, but never trust it 100%. Put it in metrics. So if you increase sales 45% in a certain region, tell me you increased it, 45%, but tell me how you did it. All right. You need 2 to 5 of those. Once you're finished, take that information, go to ChatGPT, go to Bard, put it in there and say, is there a better way to sound more finessed? Or is there a better way to say this? Plug it in and let it give you suggestions. But it should still be you. It should still be your words. And I'll tell you why. Because and that's why when I write resumes, I try and do my best to put the voice of my client in that. Some clients will use specific words, others will not. Some are very, hey, how you doing, that type of person, and others are very sophisticated in their language. It is important because you don't want to go to an interview and sound like you're not that person on that paper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
AI will never pick up the human piece of things, never. And I'll tell you, right now, companies want social and emotional intelligence, especially if you're in a leadership role.
Get more and more important.
Yes.
As people do, unfortunately, rely on AI systems,
Right.
and think that, oh, that's okay to use. So the more human you can be, the better it is. What do you say to your clients who are kind of struggling with the emotional aspect of the job search?
Yeah, it's very daunting.
Do you have the one kind of takeaway I'm getting from this is the targeting?
Yeah.
And do you have one, like, I always give all my clients this tip and it's a great tip, and this is, what's your golden nugget of tipness?
My golden nugget of tipness.
That's a Patty.
That's a really good one. I think every phase has its golden area of tipness. I don't think in the entire search there's just one. I think every phase that I offer has a golden nugget, I guess, to it. But if we're going to talk about targeting, I think this is the hardest area probably for some people, because they're so desperate to find the right job that they're literally playing pin the tail on the donkey, and you're wasting your time. You are wasting your time.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go out and you need to start looking at events. You need to network. Yes.
There's an ego boost that comes when someone asks you for help. And to be honest with you, that was one of my go-to tactics when dealing with difficult people in work. So if this was a difficult person, maybe the best way to go is just ask them for advice, even if I wasn't particularly wanting their advice, but to lower that barrier and say, hey, listen, you're obviously really good at this. Tell me how you're doing it.
Right.
And even those difficult people, once you ask them for help, we're all about helping.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm a big fan of kill them with kindness.
Kill them with kindness. That's
Everybody
right.
has a barrier, but some of those people have a barrier for a reason that you just aren't aware of. So you have to meet people where they're at. Nobody forces you to act a certain way. Nobody forces you to be a certain way or say something. That's on you. That's
Nobody can make
you
love Miguel Lopez. I think that's his name. Probably getting his name wrong, but The four agreements. Have you guys heard this before?
Yes.
Love
Yes.
the four
Love the
agreements.
4 agreements. Yes.
Or this is true in business and life and love. First one, always do your best.
Yes.
Second one, don't make assumptions. Third one, be impeccable with your word. And fourth one, don't take it personally.
Yeah.
You do those 4 things, it's amazing what can unlock in your life, your heart, and your business. That was our interview with Susan Barens, executive career coach and author. To learn more about Susan's work and connect with her, visit careermatrixgroup.com. Next, we will look at a fantastic AI tool for anyone braving the job search experience. We have the fantastic and innovative Michael Guan with us, who's going to tell us about FinalRoundAI. He is the founder and mega brain behind this incredible tool, which I think is a phenomenal resource for anyone that is in the job search process, especially when you're trying to prepare for interviews, which can be really nerve-wracking, especially for those of us who are a little neurospicy and may not be able to pick up on social cues as easily as some of our brothers and sisters and cousins. Without further ado, Michael, I just wanted to thank you so much for being here with us on our job search podcast theme today, and would like to give you the opportunity to kind of share with us a little bit about your tool, and hopefully give us a sneak peek of the neat features it has. And so over to you, Michael. Tell us a little bit about FinalRound.ai.
Thank you, Haley. Thank you, Patty. Excited to be here. So FinalRoundAI is essentially your AI copilot for career development. We develop a suite of AI tools to help candidates to navigate through this most difficult recruiting season since the financial crisis. That's how we define the next recruiting season. We believe is one of the most difficult ones. So there are many exciting AI tools that we developed, including resume revisions, AI cover letter generations, and interview copilot, which is one of the most popular features we have. With all these tools, we are aiming to help candidates to basically understand their career path better and just land their dream jobs. I believe in the AI era, because AI is going to unlock a lot of productivities. At the same time, it's going to create and disrupt the traditional career development market. Just ordinary people can now have access to even more amazing career paths. And those are the opportunities we would like to bring to everyone, everyday user. It used to be only certain students or professionals with certain backgrounds can benefit from career development. There's no structured career path for a lot of people. But now with AI, we will be able to redefine that and really to help everyone to find or even develop like an ideal career development path. That's what makes me and my team most excited about. We see the huge potential behind this technology. So when users first logged in, this is the dashboard they will be seeing, right? How many interviews they aced, how many goals they have, and how many resumes they generate. The very first step is to set a goal. So essentially, what is the company and position that I'm looking to join? For example, now I have software development engineer at Amazon. I can create additional positions and companies. I just need to copy and paste the positions and companies, company details, and job descriptions into these boxes. And these informations will be used to train the AI so the AI can provide more tailored support. We believe that with our tool, we'll be able to develop a more vivid image of the candidates. And nowadays, I think a plain piece of resume is not able to accurately describe the candidate. A lot of recruiting teams, they're looking in resumes and everyone will be the same. Everyone goes to the same school. Everyone goes to have the similar job experiences. Then how people can stand out. I think it has to look into a candidate from different angles. And what we provide is opportunities to look candidates from different angles.
I think that's really neat.
Candidate, I do too. And I think it lets the candidate know themselves from different angles, which means it opens up more career paths versus something that's linear and traditional and job title based. Because as we know, with AI exploding the way that it is, there are jobs that could be created tomorrow or 3 months from now or 6 months from now that we haven't even thought of yet.
Yeah,
Yes.
prompt engineer wasn't really a job January of 2022. Certainly wasn't even a thing that people would have
Yeah.
put together in 2020, 2021. I think what's really one thing that surprised me when I first started talking to Michael is, yeah, I knew that that recruiters and HR had things like the applicant tracking system, ATS, which is Susan talked about with us earlier in our segment. But this idea that they also have their own AI suite of AI tools, I think that to the point where they're actually getting fed questions, suggested questions, summaries about the candidate was a huge surprise to me and helps me understand and champion Final Round and Michael, your efforts, because it does make it a bit more of a level playing field for us folks out here going through job search and dealing with the jungles of recruitment. Just really want to shout out to you, Michael, because I think
Thank you.
I don't really see, to your point, I don't really see a lot of AI tools that are directly helping the candidates in this way. So
Right.
continue showing us this amazing product. It's a great,
Awesome.
cool
Yes.
tool you have.
Thank you. Yeah, so the
Yes.
second step for the candidates. So I will touch on some of the products under development. Those are amazing features, but let me go through all these available features first. So the second step for candidates is to upload the materials to train the AI copilots to let the AI copilots understand who they are, where they're coming from, what's the career interest, right? And then the candidates can simply upload the resume, cover letter, or supporting materials. Could be terminologies, could be domain knowledge, or some prepared questions, answers that could help the AI to understand the scenario, the context. So I have prepared a resume here. Then the next step, and one of the exciting AI features we have, is these AI material generators. There are so many users using our tool to generate resumes, cover letters, and interview Q&A flashcards. All these materials are dedicated for their specific jobs, meaning that
Technical
users.
question for you. Sorry,
Yeah.
Michael. I know here we are peppering you with questions. From the back end, is this connected to OpenAI or Claude AI, or which AI tool is it using to pull together the resumes? Or do you have proprietary software that just does it for us?
Yeah, so we do have a proprietary large language models. We're using fine-tuned Llama 2, which is the open source version. And we have a dynamic router behind every single applications we have. So depending on different use cases, we'll be routing through different large language models. It could be OpenAI, GPT-4. It could be OpenAI, GPT 3.5 Turbo. It could be Cloud 2. It could be our own Llama 2. So depending on different use cases, we will have different selections. At the same time, we're also, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to ask, is there eventually on the product roadmap, is that going to be a feature where, let's say, people get smarter about AI and someone knows, I've used DALL-E or Llama and Claude, didn't like those results. I want this tool to focus on ChatGPT 4.0. Is that functionality something that's down the road on your product roadmap?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think at this moment, what we are looking forward for the next couple months is that we're going to optimize the LLM options for our users. Because at this moment, I think it's still in the early stage. Different LLMs, they could have different outputs at different quality levels for different use cases. So we tend to do the A/B testing for the users and optimize that for the users. But later, definitely, I think it's going to be a democratized AI world where all the large language models, AI models are accessible. By then, we should be able to offer different kind of selections for sure. But right now, we tend to provide the best for the users. I think that we're a little bit more results driven, I would say, and just trying to save users a lot of time, especially when users need to deal with all these applications. There are a lot of users who are young professionals. They will need to spend hours of time to actually research the job positions, the job requirements, and then tailor their resume towards that specific job. But now with AI, it's simply, they just need to click on generate, and it's going to take up to a minute to generate the report, not generate the resume, the dedicated job application materials. For example, I will download here, and then it's going to initiate a download here, and then I can open that up. So some of the interesting tool that we built besides the interview copilot is this AI resume generator. So basically we embed tons of keywords into this resume. This is just a example resume, a template resume I found online. So what we do is we'll embed tons of keywords into this resume. So if you can see here, this resume just looks like a regular resume in human eyes, but in machine eyes, it's actually a resume with the top 1% resumes. What happened is we basically add a lot of keywords into this part to make sure that it's machine screenable. And we're not adding these keywords for fun. We are actually using the AI to study the job requirements, the job descriptions, and match against our candidate's resume, the original one, and then match against our database. And then we come up with all these keywords and put it here.
So I think it's really phenomenal that you guys you acknowledge that and you incorporate that. Now, there are times when the job scan will tell you this is your current resume and it's compared to the job description, it's like a 70% match. Is there a way to measure the effectiveness or the quality of your resume through an ATS system, like a mock ATS system or anything like that?
Yes,
That's a great question.
That's a good question. I think there are so many different kinds of ATS systems out there. We tend to work with the most advanced ones. There are a lot of free websites out there. They offer free ATS scan words, scanner keywords to just help you to screen the resumes and understand the level of match. I think what we do is, again, we put a lot of time into this tool, and we have our own database of a lot of keywords of different job functions, and I consider that as like a domain knowledge base, right? And we also incorporate that. So during the AI generation process of those keywords, we also incorporate our own keywords into our own database into this AI generation process. So it's not AI randomly threw out some keywords. Instead, it's learning out from our database, from the data points that we offer, and then generate the optimized set of keywords to help candidates. But you never know, because the AI from the employer side is just keep going better. So there are always updates needed. So we're constantly monitoring the situation and offer what we can do the best to our users.
I like in this dashboard too, where it says, "Good evening, let's seize the day and ace this interview." Like, very positive tone. I think that is something that's really helpful and is unique to the new AI products that are coming out.
We tend to offer a lot of personalizations. That's one of the motivations for us developing the product.
Patty and I've talked about this before in our earlier segment, just what an emotional ride it is to be in a job search. It is eerily similar to dating in a lot of ways, just being so open to rejection, and it is a blow to your confidence a lot. So being able to see and just having these little affirmations, similar to Dove chocolate, right? Or the Hall's cough drops when you're sick. Keep going, you got it.
Thanks so much. So the next step, besides all these generators, is the users can use Interview Copilot, whether for mock interviews or real-time interview support. So what they do is they need to create a Copilot session, select a resume, select the goal of essentially the position they're applying to, and then launch the Interview Copilot. And then you need to configure the audio selection. And for example, I'm going to share a online mock interview video here. So as you can see here, I'm sharing this mock interview videos as the interviewer. We don't continue. And now the Interview Copilot will be able to hear the ongoing interview and then generate dynamic support. For example, the interviewer now is asking what is the biggest strength and how the company can benefit from the strength. And then the Copilot will be able to pull the key points from the resume and cover letter, generating dynamic support. The candidates will tend to use these bullet points to organize their thoughts and then develop their own response. So I think instead of like people can read it off the screen word by word, it's really about they have a very intelligent notepad that can offer what they need and clear up their thoughts make sure they can present the very best of themselves in front of the audience.
The intention isn't for someone to come and use your tool and open it up for the first time they're on an interview with someone. You still are proponents of preparation, right? You still have to do your homework. You still have to learn about the company, figure out what are the things that matter to them, and then compare it to your own experience. This is a wonderful tool to help you to do that. It's not supposed to be a replacement. And frankly, anyone that would go in there, just like if you were to write a bunch of notes and you went into an interview and every time they asked you a question, you're like, and then in 1993, I was a really great. You still have to communicate as a human, but instead of having it here, it's here. And especially in that moment where you're like, oh gosh, they just asked me a really tough question. Take a breath, quickly scan, and then push through to the rest of the interview. So I just wanted to make that point because I know that we've heard that. So is this supposed to replace doing your work? Like, no, actually, this is just help you keep ahead of the times of change.
That's the thing I think people forget with all of AI and all these professors who are all up in arms about plagiarism. If someone's turning in a paper or any kind of project that just came straight off the AI generator and came into their hands, then yeah, that person should fail. But if you use it appropriately, you're applying thought to it, and your individual edits and your individual spin and creativity is what makes, in my humble opinion, the AI work. But I think because it's such a new tool, I don't know, people just throw something in, generate a prompt, and then put that in as if it's a finished product, and it's not a finished product at all.
It's gonna highlight the lazy, because you're gonna be able to tell pretty fast when someone's using the technology as a replacement for doing their homework. But back to the point of what we were saying earlier, Michael, that the recruiters often have their own tool on this other side that is spitting out recommendations and questions and responses. And so for me, and I don't think a lot of candidates out there applying know that they're going up against, it's not just the recruiter and the panel of interviewers, it's also AI. So it is, to me, quite a bit of leveling the playing field, but you've got to be able to use it in the right way. Speaking of your users, how many users do you have now? How many people have actually had a chance to try out this product?
Yes, we have well over 80,000 users now. We're growing in a very amazing speed, I would say, without any pay ads.
Michael, remind us the cost of using your service.
Except the interview copilot, all the features, all the AI features, all the AI tools at this moment are free for everyone. For the interview copilot, we do requires like a premium subscription. It would be $99 a month. And then, so the $99 come with certain credits, and then the users can apply those credits to the interview copilot session. Yeah.
I do imagine we'll have quite a few listeners who are actually going through this experience of job searching. And is there any kind of words of advice, wisdom, anything you want to share with them? It could be about the job search, it could be about the future of AI, but anything that you can share with them as maybe we wrap up today?
Yes, I think the job market is constantly changing. So there are a couple insights that we observed in the past few months while building the space. So the first insight is that for a lot of opportunities, it's important to get in as soon as possible, right? For example, there could be a job opening in the market in the past 2 months, and it's likely that position is already filled. That happens a lot for our users who are using Easy Apply, one-click apply on LinkedIn. Yes, so those positions are likely filled. It could be a waste of time to actually look into those positions. I think a good timing to apply is that position just become available, or that's available in the past 7 days at most. Yeah. And the second observation I have seen is that people have a different, maybe a unrealistic expectation for the hiring process. we see so many rounds of interviews, and a lot of candidates will expect that every company will have a very structured recruiting process. And after every single interview, the interviewer, the hiring manager will reach out to them, informing them the next step. But most of the time, it could be different, entirely opposite side. It could be that after an interview, and then there's no people to reach out in the next 30 days. So what we recommend is actually actively sending follow-up emails to summarize some of the highlights that the candidates have in the interview and share that with the interviewer and keep following up. And the one final, I would say, suggestion is, or observation is that I can see a lot of users, they are not, I would say, well prepared for the interviews. I think although we have different kinds of AI tools to help us get opportunities and then perform better during the opportunities, it's still very important to have a lot of practices, right? Because yeah, interview is one-shot opportunity, is the best way to present yourself in front of audience at this moment. I'm not sure about 2 years, 3 years from now. There could be a different way to assess the talents. But at this moment,
you might be metaverse with a little AI cage fighting match.
Yeah,
Top difference there.
exactly. So I think it's important to get a lot of preparation and just interacting with whatever the tools available, trying to have mock interviews, whether it's on our platform or with your friends, coaches, mentors, colleagues, classmates. These preparations are super necessary, I would say, and that is going to help significantly increase the rate of success.
That was Michael Guan, founder and president of FinalRoundAI.com. As a reminder to our listeners, a lot of the features previewed today on FinalRoundAI.com are free. So just head over there today and check it out. In this episode, we've explored the current landscape of job searching, peeled back the curtain around the applicant tracking system, gave you some amazing tips, and showcased a wonderful AI tool to help you along the way. In our next episode, Patty and I will dissect the integration of AI's intellectual prowess and emotional understanding, and its impact on technology and human interaction. In other words, we're going to be looking at AI's IQ and EQ. Have a topic you'd like us to explore? Let us know. We've got you, boo.